I mentioned we're having babes in exercise clothes next on Joe Bob Summer School. That's because it's Bodybuilding 304, very serious topic. And workout pro Karen Voigt is going to be putting the girls through some very flattering moves while we watch Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. All right, week 3 of Joe Bob Summer School, and tonight we have an upper division course, Bodybuilding 304, Applied Anatomy and Biomechanics, and which translates to a good excuse to ogle women in spandex, right? Our special guest lecturer, fitness expert Karen Voigt will be whipping our heinies into shape while we watch Conan the Barbarian, the movie that started it all for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the even greater sequel, Conan the Destroyer. Now, we take the science of bodybuilding very seriously here at Joe Bob Summer School. We've broken it down by specific muscle area. And our first topic is the abdominals. The goal is this. 3 months ago, both of these women here had abs that looked like balloon animals. Woo! And look at them today. What's the difference, girls?
We use the ab roller.
That's right, the ab roller. Get down and demonstrate the ab roller while I explain my experience with the ab roller. Wanda Bodine was with me, actually, the night I bought my ab roller. We were watching Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and that bimbo in the pink swimsuit came on doing her ab roller sit-ups. And I said to Wanda, you know, this commercial's been on for 97 years. There must be something to it. And Wanda was skeptical. She said, that thing looks like one of those bicycle racks you have to wear on your head when you get paralyzed. Not that you couldn't use a little ab rolling, Joe Bob. And so that was it. I took the challenge. I called the 800 number in North Logan, Utah, and I told them I want an ab roller. Now, one thing you should know if you're thinking about getting an ab roller yourself is that it comes in a giant box that has ab roller written all over it and advertising like, develop rock-hard abs and as seen on TV, and a big picture of the ab roller so that everybody in your neighborhood is going to know you ordered it even before you get it. Like Scrim Wilkes, he saw the mailman carrying it around and he called me up and said, Joe Bob, your ab roller is here. And then he couldn't stop laughing. He kept saying ab roller over and over again in a way that sounded like you hopeless, ignorant, beer-bellied doofus. You know, it's humiliating. So I said to Wanda, that's okay, because even if it doesn't work out, we'll just use it for a bicycle rack. So anyhow, I started getting real excited about changing my life with exercise when I read the instruction booklet for the ab roller. And it started off with about 17 safety warnings, including please keep children and pets away from the ab roller during use, as well as when the machine is unattended. And by the way, this is the machine. That's what they call it. And finally, we got down to the nitty-gritty here. It says, rest your elbows on the elbow pads. Well, yours doesn't even have elbow pads, Cheryl, but rest them on something there so it'll make sense. And gently grip the foam pads on the sidebars located on each side of your head. And for the straight arm position, use an overhead grasp onto the overhead bar. Arms are straight, but elbows are soft. All right? Do not lock or hyperextend your elbows. Long about page 5, you know, you finally get to actually do your first ab roller sit-up. And I gave it everything I had, and then Wanda said, how did that feel? And I said, well, I felt like I was rocking back and forth on a cheap bicycle rack. And Wanda said, well, actually, you were rocking back and forth on an expensive bicycle rack. And I asked her, you know, how long do you think I should do this? And she read in the book, it says, until you experience momentary slight abdominal fatigue. And I said, well, I experienced abdominal fatigue before I ever got down here. And Wanda said, well, probably time to stop then. And I said, well, good. That was an excellent 2 sit-up workout. But my stomach already felt better after that workout. And Wanda said, which phase of the workout did it for you, Joe Bob? The first sit-up or the second one? And I can't stand it when Wanda Bodine gets like that. Okay, well, we're going to be working out with Karen Voigt, our guest lecturer tonight, as we watch Conan the Barbarian, Arnold Schwarzenegger's first serious dramatic role, where he goes around walloping people's heads off with his sword and being real rude to Sandal Bergman. Sandal is a fox in this baby. And this was kind of her first big break, too, even though a lot of her stuff ended up on the cutting room floor. But let's get it started. I'll do the drive-in totals later. Roll the film. And Rusty, let me show you how far along I've come on this. I want you to hold my feet down, and I'll show you, just because I've been practicing all week on the ab roller. So just hold them down, and here we go. 1, 1, 2.
2. Come on.
I got to read that book again. 2. I did more in rehearsal.
Think you're funnier than Joe Bob? Who isn't, right? But can you prove it? Then enter the Monstervision Caption Contest and try to make the six-headed jury laugh. And no, I'm not one of the heads. What do you win if you slay them with your caption? How about this incredibly collectible T-shirt? To play, go to tnt.turner.com/Monstervision and look for the Caption Contest link. And may the best man, woman, or mutant win. Everyone's eligible. Oh, except Joe Bob. We've heard enough from him, don't you think?
Play the Monster Caption Contest and win a free T-shirt at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision. To Joe Bob Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
Okay, there you have it. Conan telling us what is best in life. To cross your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women. And since we've graduated to college level here at Joe Bob Summer School, I actually looked that up and I found out that that line is based on something that Genghis Khan once said. Genghis Khan said, "The greatest pleasure is to vanquish your enemies and chase them before you, to rob them of their wealth and see those dear to them bathed in tears, to ride their horses and clasp to your bosom their wives and daughters." But can you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger saying that? Because Arnold wasn't exactly fluent in 1982 when this flick was made. He was still detoxing from all the steroids he took when he was Mr. Universe. So he wasn't detoxing, but he did say use steroids when he was Mr. Universe. That's why they only gave him about 10 lines to say in this movie. And speaking of people who are in good shape, we've got fitness pro Karen Voigt joining us at the next break. So let's get those drive-in totals out of the way. We have 72 dead bodies, 1 dead snake, 1 dead vulture, 3 breasts, 2 of them on Conan, ancient professional wrestling, heads roll, bludgeoning, impaling, throat slitting, arm breaking, head ramming, camel punching, virgin sacrifice, cliff jumping, crucifixion, cremation, 1 orgy, gratuitous speechifying by Max von Sydow. I give it 3.5 stars, so roll it. I'm glad I've been working out, you know, given the theme of the show. I got buns of steel now. I'm working and abs of steel. In fact, you hold up a big magnet, I get sucked right across the room. Joe Bob, I saw this movie in 1984, and it had a girl in it, and she's sitting by this tree. What movie was that? People, we have got to have more information than that when you're submitting something for the Find That Flick contest. Now, normally, if you give me a plot description, I will know the title of the movie you're trying to remember. But if I can't answer it, hundreds of my fellow drive-in mutants can, because I got fans that watch 32 movies a day. They never leave their apartments. So to find out how to play and all the free junk you can win, visit the Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision and look for the Find That Flick contest. Joe Bob, I saw this movie with a talking bear in it and Morgan Fairchild naked. See, that's a description I can work with.
Visit the Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/. Back to Job Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
Who was that gal Arnold just had sex with, and more importantly, where does she work out? Cassandra Gaviola is that actress's name, and she has got some fine pectorals, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. It's Bodybuilding 304 here at Joe Bob Summer School, and our guest lecturer is warmed up and ready to go. She owned 2 very popular gyms in L.A. during the peak of the fitness-crazed 80s, and since then she's been making workout videos, writing books, training big-time celebrities. Karen Voigt is with us. Welcome to Joe Bob Summer School, Karen.
Nice to see you.
So when you had your gyms in the 80s, were they big single scenes like in that Jamie Lee Curtis movie from the 80s we all know and love, Perfect?
Yes, actually, a lot of my students got married. Some of them, actually what happened is that some of my students, they quit their jobs. They found out about working out in my classes through their bosses, and then they quit their jobs because it interfered with the classes they wanted to take. So the boss was mad at me. But then I went to a lot of weddings because of little connections that they had.
Really, love in the gym. And it's an LA thing.
It was really an LA thing. I think that's what built the class more than any other thing.
Yeah, really? Okay, well, now you're working on, what, 3 different exercise videos? What kind of workouts are these new ones that you're doing?
New ones, one is yoga sculpt. I'm combining sculpting and yoga together to make a body that's fit, flexible, and kind of new agey.
Very
Another one is body strength, using your own body's weight to actually get stronger. And the third one I'm doing is called Ease into Fitness or Ease into Exercise, about
I like the title.
ways to exercise and make it easy for yourself.
Okay, and it's like probably for older people,
Older
right?
folks.
Okay, can the one for old people also work for people who are just lazy?
Yeah, because you're sitting in a chair. It's better than
okay.
nothing.
Let's start with one of those exercises, okay? Something we can do without getting up. I like this already, okay? So show me an exercise we can do, like just sitting on this.
Well, I use these little green genie balls, and one of the exercises I do is you hold it here and you bring your elbows out to the side, and it's a wrist and a forearm exercise.
Okay.
And it really, it seems kind of easy and goofy.
You have a personalized monogrammed green ball.
I made this up. I made this idea up because I wanted people
You invented this?
Yeah, because I wanted them to have a weight that was an open palm position. So you can squeeze it with your fingers and then rotate. Keep your elbows stationary.
Okay.
And
what am I doing?
Go as far forward as you can with your thumbs, far back as far as you can.
Okay.
And you feel it in the forearm? There's another exercise I do. No, well, let's move on.
Well, it's a good thing I'm starting now because I might, you know, actually be able to do this by the time I'm 60. You know, so.
I do exercises like this, forearm.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that in the bicep, right?
Bicep and also right in through here.
Okay. All right, let's get back to Conan the Barbarian. More working out at the next break. Am I doing this right, though?
You have to go a little bit more, you know, a little faster.
Oh, like this?
Smoothly.
Okay.
And controllingly.
Okay. We also need to talk about nutrition, right? Because like everybody in this movie we're watching, they eat shish kebab. That's the only food in Conan movies, shish kebab. Okay, you screwed up again, didn't you? It's your 5th year in junior college. Your life has no possibility of improving. Not true if you attend yet another session of Joe Bob's Summer School. 9 brain-expanding Saturday nights good for actual credit at Southern Arizona State Community College at Ajo. But you need to enroll your hiney. To register, you got to go to the summer school website and get a syllabus. Plus, you'll be able to see who some of our guest lecturers are this summer. And you'll also get a sneak peek at a few of the final exam questions. And you can even include yourself in our summer yearbook, listing your worst subject and favorite hobbies. The internet address for Joe Bob's Summer School is tnt.turner.com/summer school. That doesn't mean you can skip the dang class. Of course, even academic probation is fun at Joe Bob's Summer School, Saturday nights on Turner National Technical Institute.
Visit Joe Bob Summer School at tnt.turner.com/summer school. This July, Joe Bob Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
And as Sandahl Bergman and Arnold the Barbarian prepare to make Warrior Love, we do a modest little fade-out here on TNT so that the young and impressionable won't see just how outstanding Sandahl's cantilevers are. Did I say that? Okay, that could have been a valuable learning tool, actually, here on Bodybuilding Night, because I'm here with our guest lecturer, Karen Voigt, whose 3 new workout videos are coming out sometime soon: Yoga Sculpt, Body Strength, and exercises for old guys who can barely even lift the remote control, right? You can use that title. What do you think of that title?
That's a good one. I always say it'll make the muscles sore when you have to eat.
Okay.
So you'll eat less.
You know, Sandahl and Arnold were both so buff in this movie, I don't know if you remember it, that they had to do their own stunts because they couldn't find decent body doubles to double for them. And in fact, Arnold had to tone down his workout because his muscles were so big, he couldn't wield the sword. And just like me, because did you ever see this picture of me before TNT made me slim down for the show? Have you ever seen this?
Very impressive.
This is me before I had to get in shape for actual work on this show, but I think I look better now, right? All right, we use the balls. What else can you show me? Something a little more strenuous.
Okay, well, we have this new idea that not only can you work your arms and your upper body when you do push-ups, but you can also work your trunk, your midsection and your back. So you want to see how to do that?
Push-ups?
Push-up?
I can probably do.
Well, okay, but it's beyond a
push-up.
push-up because what you need to do is come on to, like you could do at the top of a push-up. You say you do a whole series of just push-ups.
Push-ups.
Okay, then you stay at the top. Keep your fingers facing front. Your elbows are going to face back. Now curl your toes and straighten your knees. Now pull your abdominals in and look forward. Okay, now bring your chest reaching in the opposite direction of your heels. Now bend your elbows and keep your back in that position as you lower down, 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 and down. Very good.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, then
it's one
you
of
probably
those.
have to bend your knees,
Okay.
push up, and do a bunch of...
Oh, okay. Good, yeah.
So a bunch
Those
of
are
push-ups.
so easy, Karen. And
You want something harder?
no, we'll do those at the next break. We don't want to do too much too fast. We have viewers watching who are, who are drinking as they.
So you come up here.
Okay.
Pull your stomach in. Okay, now you form a plank position with your body and keep your body perfectly straight. Just try to look forward.
Great.
Going down, 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 down.
All right.
One more time, push it.
No, one more time.
Coming up, Joe Bob Summer School continues with Conan the Destroyer next. And tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, go courtside for all the action when the best players in the NBA hit the floor for the Olympic. Back to Joe Bob Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
Lots of trekking in this movie. Trekking across the desert. And that was Max von Sydow as King Osric, being his usual long-winded self. Every movie Max von Sydow is in, he has a scene where the action comes to a halt so he can speechify. Struggling actors are probably in classes all over the country going, this is the monologue from The Ultimate Warrior where Max von Sydow asked Yul Brynner to join his commune. Or I will now do the speech from Needful Things where Max von Sydow admits to being the devil. You know all those speeches he does? All right, by the way, Karen Voigt, our celebrity guest here tonight, who are your biggest celebrity clients?
Tina Turner.
Oh.
Bette Midler.
Oh.
Diane Carroll. I worked with Elle McPherson. She's great.
Wow, and all four of those are in great shape.
Paul Abdul. I've worked with James. He's my favorite, James Taylor.
Really? He's your favorite celebrity client of all your celebrity clients. All right. Our Bodybuilding 304 guest lecturer, Karen Voigt, is now going to have me do something truly challenging. All right? Karen, challenge me.
Okay. We're going to do we're going to start with the squat that's sort of the same as the squat, but it's harder because you start with your arms and you bend your knees and bend your elbows. Then come down into squat position.
Okay.
Then you shoot your arms up. Keep your chest lifted and push down with your arms as you squeeze your legs up. So lower your...
Karen, this isn't hard.
Try
Do that
deeper
again.
with your heels on the floor.
Okay.
Okay, now bend deeper. Shoot your arms up. Go lower. Now stand up. Put your hands down as you straighten your legs up. Now do 25 of them. Bend. Bend. Push. Squeeze. Bend. Push. Squeeze.
Okay.
With fluidity.
Challenge me some more.
Another one would be one-legged squat. How about that?
Okay.
Put all your weight on your left leg.
Okay.
Just point your right toe. Bend your knees and bend your elbows here. Okay, now when you come up, raise the leg off the floor. Down. Not bad. That's pretty good. Down.
It's kind of a ballet move, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like
Down.
the Bolshoi
up.
does this every morning.
Up. Down.
Those are hard.
You feel it there in the butt, right? Up.
Yeah.
Down.
Okay.
Another one would be, this is really
more?
balletic. You step forward, lift the back leg up, and then step back, touch your heel. Step forward, lift, step back, heel. Step forward, lift, step back, heel.
I'm not getting the hang of
Step
this.
forward, lift. So you kind of step out, lift. Down.
It's the Martha Graham.
Step back, up, step back here, and then touch your heel. And step forward, lift. Whoa, step forward, lift. Okay, now lift your leg higher.
Let's get back to Conan, okay? Do you make Tina Turner do these?
She's good at these.
I don't see Tina doing that move on stage. First, there was my TNT Monstervision website with the famous caption contest, which is still going strong, I might add. Then we added the incredibly sexy Monstervision t-shirt, coveted by would-be prize winners everywhere. Then we added the Find That Flick contest, in which you can win all kinds of free junk just by knowing the plots of weird movies. And now we proudly present Joe Bob's Summer School website, which is the perfect companion to my summer-long movie lineup on TNT. Well, not the perfect companion. Jennifer Lopez would be the perfect companion. But my point is, I'm slowly building an empire here at TNT. It's no longer possible to take me lightly, and I'll take just as much time as I want with this promo. Okay, to find out your class assignments and guest lecturers, get on the information superhighway and drive to tnt.turner.com/summer school and
Enroll at Joe Bob Summer School now at tnt.turner.com/summer school. To be the best. Back to Joe Bob Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
who will not face emptiness? That's the big catchphrase of evangelist James Earl Jones. He's got them lined up because it's such an attractive philosophy. Come to emptiness. This is CNN. He has that voice. Is my watch broken, or was that one of the shortest segments in the history of television? And by the way, nice wig on James Earl Jones, huh? They were going for that little Susie gives her Barbie a haircut look, weren't they? Workout pro Karen Voigt is still here with us. So, Karen, I think my muscles are a little fatigued from that last one we did, so maybe we can bring somebody else in here to do the next exercise. I see... Oh, it's Rusty and Cheryl hanging out in the hall without a hall pass, no doubt. But girls, come on in here and do Karen's exercises, okay? Maybe y'all can show us some yoga or something while I'm just going to sit over here and enjoy my protein drink.
We're going to start with your feet like in a T position. So one leg's turned out. Okay, get wide and then open your arms out to the side. Shoulders down. Reach through the fingertips and just bend your knee. Now you try to keep your front heel pressing back and then press down on your elbow and reach up with the top arm. And then if you can, you reach the top arm over your ear and turn your chin, look up to the ceiling. Okay, now keep your legs exactly as they are. And then on an inhale, you just bring your body up and your arms out, just like they were before, but keep your front leg bent. So by now, that front leg is burning. Then you stand up, and then you slide your bottom ribs out as far as you can. Place your hand on the ankle or on the shin. Take the other arm up to the ceiling. Rotate the shoulder. And then sweep the arm by the ear. And reach out through the fingertips.
I had no idea yoga was this interesting. I tell you what, from where I'm sitting,
And then
kind of exercise I like.
Arm moves down.
I thought yoga,
The
San
hard
Francisco
part,
thing.
Bring your arms back up.
Okay, we're going to get back to a confusing but muscle-filled Conan the Barbarian movie. Go. Can I join whatever gym you gals work out at? Because, of course, gyms have rules now that are designed specifically to keep guys like me out. Want to win a free video of some obscure horror movie you've never heard of that some guy in West Virginia made in his basement? Of course you do. That's why umpteen jillion people have discovered our Find That Flick contest. If you've never heard of it, forget it. It's too complicated to explain on TV. But you can find out all about it on our Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision. And I'll give you one clue. If you're one of those guys who never leaves his apartment except to rent videos, this contest was designed to give heretofore unrealized meaning to your life.
Play the Find That Flick contest at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision.
11 gold medals in 13 Olympics don't mean anything unless...
Back to Joe Bob Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
You know, I think we need to summarize the plot so far. So, Karen, do you mind continuing to just yoga sculpt the girls there, and I'll summarize the plot. Okay, the film starts off with little Conan learning about a god named Crumb who has some kind of phallic sword fixation. And then James Earl Jones and a bunch of other guys in bad wigs cut off Conan's mother's head, and William Smith gets killed by a bunch of German shepherds, which I just realized must have got cut out because I don't remember seeing that. And then they capture Conan and make him push a big food mill around 24 hours a day for 15 years. Until he turns into Arnold Schwarzenegger in a bad wig. And then they get him to fight in professional wrestling matches, and then he gets cut loose and he finds a dead guy with a sword, and he wanders around until he has sex with a babe who turns into a comet. And then he and Jerry Lopez and Sandal Bergman steal a big jewel during a virgin sacrifice in a big tower with a giant snake in it. Wonder what the symbolism is there. And Max von Sydow speechifies, and Arnold bails on Sandal to go steal Max von Sydow's daughter, but James Earl Jones catches Arnold and ties him to a tree, and then Arnold's wizard friend draws all over his face, and Sandal cries, and maybe Arnold's dead, and maybe he's not. Is that about it? Okay. Back to the flick. I never knew that I loved yoga. I left out the part where Arnold punches the camel, didn't I? And Arnold punches out a camel. When you enter the caption contest and you don't win, do not write us a letter saying his caption sucks. Let's be good sports about this, okay? After all, the only reason you're so angry is that the stakes are so low. One measly Monstervision t-shirt. Because if the prize is that cheap and you don't win it, it kind of brings into question your potential in all areas, right? But let's not dwell on that. If you think your caption is hilarious, then come on down to the website and try to make the six-headed jury laugh. That address is tnt.turner.com/Monstervision. And here's a tip. Think sixth grade humor. We love that.
Try to win a free t-shirt in our caption contest on the one and only Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision. Back to Joe Bob Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
All right, cooling down a little bit here at Joe Bob Summer School, or heating up, depending on how you look at it. So James Earl Jones is really a snake, an orgy-loving snake. All right, I should point out that the fake blood used in Conan the Barbarian was a concentrate that you had to mix with water, but the weather was so cold they had to use vodka to keep it from freezing, and instead of spitting the blood like they were supposed to, the actors kept swallowing it and then going back to the special effects guy for more. And I'm starting to think John Milius and Oliver Stone were knocking back a few when they were writing the script for this thing. But no, John Milius and Oliver Stone, what am I thinking? Those two, they would never touch spirits, would they? Okay. Our exercise maven Karen Voigt has to leave us in a minute, but I first wanted to ask for a few final tips on getting into shape. First of all, if you eat a lot of spicy foods, your fat burns off quicker, right?
Not true.
No? I heard that. I don't know. What if you wear one of those neoprene waist-trimming belts? You know, the ones that look like you're wearing a girdle outside your clothes. What do those do?
You sweat more, and then as soon as you drink water, it's back on you.
Really? So those don't work. What if I eat while watching TV? Does the brain energy use up any extra calories?
I think TV makes you want to eat more.
Really?
Especially the close-ups on donuts.
Is there anything I can do just to avoid working out?
Don't eat.
Oh, don't eat. Well, no, probably won't work. Karen, all our guest lecturers get a special gift when they leave. And since it's summer school, everybody gets a book. And this is the one that we got for you. It's called Jump Rope. And see down here it says, Jump for Health. We figured that if you ever start looking for a new kind of exercise to teach, you could use this. So, Karen Voigt, thanks for being here. And thanks to Rusty and Cheryl for helping us out. And come back anytime.
Thanks. It's fun to be here.
Okay, back to the movie. Okay, fire away. I can take it. Hit me with your best shot. You're going to reduce me to tears, aren't you? You're going to emasculate me with your mail, as usual. But if you got something to say about tonight's movie, or me, or the mail girl, or the war in Kosovo, then I invite you, because I am a masochist, to contact me at my personal email address, monstervision@turner.com, or you can visit the Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision and send a crushing, mean-spirited email from there. Or you can even do it the old-fashioned way by sending a letter to Monstervision, care of TNT Programming, 1010 Techwood Drive, Atlanta, Georgia, 30318. So I've given you 3 ways to nuke me. I would remind you, God is watching what you write.
Visit the Monstervision website at tnt.turner.com/Monstervision.
That's raw power! Look at his eyes! No fear at all! WCW Monday Nitro! This is where the big boys play. It's man against man. Power, strength. It's art, painted with rage. And it's 100% live. Watch WCW Monday Nitro every Monday night at 8, exclusively on TNT.
back to Joe Bob Summer School and Conan the Barbarian on TNT.
Suddenly I feel so lonely here. Well, is this a Dino dealer in his production or what? Hand-to-horse combat, spirits of dead Amazons waging battle, and Conan swinging that wicked blade. Poor Sandahl Bergman, though. She dies in this movie and ends up 10 years later making cheap erotic thrillers for Showtime. Not that there's anything wrong with a good cheap erotic thriller. You know, I think we should all adopt Arnold's attitude about bodybuilding. Here's a quote from Arnold. Now, you have to pretend that I'm doing this in an Austrian accent. In the old days, bodybuilders talked about eating 2 pounds of meat and 30 eggs a day, but they had to sleep 12 hours a day, couldn't have sex, and so on. And I said to myself, who the blank wants to be part of that kind of sport? Except, of course, he didn't say blank. And so, but wait a sec, 2 pounds of meat, 30 eggs, 12 hours of sleep, no sex. That actually does sound like my workout regimen, but I just don't lift weights, so that's the only difference. You guys want to know what Arnold's measurements were at the peak of his bodybuilding career? Okay, he's 6'2", that remains the same. He weighed 235 pounds. His chest was 57 inches. His arms were 22 inches, the equivalent of the waistline of your average Playboy centerfold, you know. His thighs were 28.5 inches around, giving true meaning to the words thigh master. His calves were 20 inches, and his waist was 34 inches. And I don't have the hip measurement. I guess that's a chick thing, right? They only do hips on chicks. Okay, it's time for the barbaric conclusion to Conan the Barbarian. Roll it. You guys know that Arnold developed a rehabilitation through weight training program at the prisons in California. And thank goodness, because I don't know what those prisoners were doing with their time before Arnold showed them how to work out. And now, in a cruel, ironic reversal of all Arnold's good work, legislatures are passing laws across this country making it illegal to work out in prison. Can you believe that? What is that about? No, we don't just want them locked up. We want them sickly and weak. Because after all, it's prison. I don't know.